all
it was
this.
super fake perfect back then. Like,
Yeah.
no
That's sick.
drinking, no stories. Well, they didn't even have IG stories back then, maybe.
No.
Dude, no IG posts with any margarita like
But
hiding shit.
Ryan's
My
Facebook page.
contract-
His Facebook page was lit though.
No shit. I had like 1 million on Facebook.
Oh, really?
And it's got the sultry radio voice over here.
Honestly, like best podcast voice. Like Marco is impressive.
Bro, Marco does
Marco's
have a
good.
good voice.
Yeah.
He's very mature on podcasts.
Yeah.
Like, if you compare Aspen to, like, Marco podcast,
Yeah.
completely different.
You have to meet this kid.
Oh, you never met? Oh,
He left this morning too.
he
They went back to Jersey, yeah.
Is that where he still lives there?
Nah, he doesn't live there, but he's just visiting family for Easter.
I thought Cousins was here for him.
Josh is
Yeah.
here?
I saw Cousins with Jeremy Foster.
No, Jeremy Foster's in Arizona.
Oh, okay.
But Marco LT and then went back to Jersey.
Oh, wow. For Easter, right?
Yeah, but he left this morning.
Yeah, Ryan, you have to meet.
He's an
meet
interesting
Marco.
kid.
Very interesting.
He's one of the greatest kids I've ever met, though.
What was your first impression?
Wow, he's just fun, yo.
Yeah.
I mean, well, we were all also like, we're all out on the hill in Aspen. I was just there have a good time and ski. He was funny. He was wild.
Yeah, it was so funny because like we literally were like, bro, like we want to bring him. Obviously, we were like, fuck, like that was our first time linking with Dom and them too.
Yeah.
And like y'all, so it's like, man, he's a wild kid.
Yeah.
So the first night he tries to like behave, then the second day he just wilds out. We're like, yeah, it's whatever. Yeah, we're cool about it.
The best is when we were at whatever like small little club was, and
Oh yeah.
all of a sudden these like girls who apparently are big on OnlyFans just start emerging from like the walls, and they saw LT as a camera, so they're just like, yo, hook us up, and LT just goes, yo, I'm done shooting fitness guys.
Yeah. Bro, remember when Dom was gonna fight because Marco was gonna fight?
Yeah.
Oh, Marco went over to the table.
Yeah,
Marco literally
shirtless.
goes over to this other dude's table because there was a pole in the
Shirtless?
middle. He takes his shirt off. He goes over there and he just like busts out some Magic Mike stuff. And I'm like,
Yeah.
and then
Bro.
the guy tried to fight him, and Marco was like, yo, I'm just doing it.
Yeah.
The dudes that were stripping over there, or like pole dancing, over there.
The dudes that were pole dancing.
Yeah, it was a weird.
It was an interesting night.
Interesting club.
We were at a club that was like a bus underground.
Yeah.
Wasn't it called Escobar?
Yeah, Escobar. Yeah.
They got mad that Marco was gonna take their shine, so they tried to fight him.
Yeah.
Dom tried to
Interesting night for sure.
Their shine was gone the second we walked in.
Yeah.
fight him. Shit, yeah.
To be honest.
When you get in your 30s, you just don't do that shit anymore. You're just like, I'm not trying to fucking fight, dude.
Yeah.
Don't date us, bro.
We're in our
Are we
30s.
rolling? We're rolling? All right.
Is that the start of the podcast?
Yeah.
we usually
we just like, we have a bad habit of like hopping into it, and then people give us shit in the comments because they're like, oh, like you didn't do a introduction.
It's kind of cool, though.
Yeah, it's like that's the most natural way to do it, bro. Like if you don't know who these guys are, then you gotta do a little
living
bit of
under a
research.
fucking rock.
Yeah, literally. But today we are accompanied by the owners of Ghost, legends in the fitness industry for sure. So I mean, I don't think they really need the longest introduction in the world, but we've been talking about this podcast since January, right?
Yeah.
In Aspen, we were like, yo, we need to run the pod, but we wanted to get both of you on. And so like, I remember when I told Kayla when we came back, I was like, yeah, we're gonna try to get them on the pod both at the same time. Good luck, like you're never together. And I realized that when I watch your stories, dude, you're in a different city. I was telling my dad last night, I was like, yeah, I'm excited, man. This guy's in a different city like 3 times a week.
It's been crazy recently. But yeah, and one thing, like as Ghost has grown, we've definitely had to get good at dividing and conquering for sure. But the Dan and Ryan show is still my favorite. It's most people's favorite. So
You want to know what's funny, though? Like, the first couple years of the brand, we did everything together.
Yeah.
Every single
I remember.
flight, everything was together. So it's been, I mean, look, as the brand grows, like there's a lot of other stuff that we're plugging in. We're having a great time, but you start to miss that a little bit, right? Like
I miss you too.
Yeah, I miss you, man. We launched this thing on his condo floor in Vegas.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of history there, and we were obviously friends for a long time before that. So, now he's living in Vegas. I'm in Chi. We divide and conquer quite a bit, but these moments are still a lot of fun. So,
Yeah, no, I'm glad to have both of you guys here.
I remember when you guys came down going back to like how you guys used to do things together back in like 2015, or I think it was 2015, the old OG Alphalete gym. You guys came down with like powdered like containers of, it just said Ghost.
Yeah.
What was the first flavor? Sweetest Fish?
No, I wish. Dude. I mean, man, humble beginnings, right? Two products, pre-workout and amino. That's it. And humble, not Ghost flavors were fruit punch and blue raz.
Yeah.
Cheers to innovation.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, we always had the vision of where we wanted to go. I mean, you know, because I think like even before we both came down, because we came down then to, I think, shoot like the announcement videos with Christian and Max and some of that. You were under contract, so.
Yeah.
You know, who knows how the story goes differently? It doesn't happen.
No, I remember y'all came down. No, y'all came down like with samples. Like
Yeah.
it was like y'all were trying to get Christian to sign.
I think this was me. I think I came down.
Okay.
And I was like, yo, we're going to do Sour Patch. We're going to we have all these like ideas, you know, because like me and Christian went way back, right? We went back to when he was still in the dorm room. He was an affiliate for my old company, and, you know, we got tight. And I think over the years, I think really the big moment for me and Christian, I was like looking at affiliate sales for my old company, right? And I was like, man, who's this kid, right? And I could just call him up. I was like, yo, dude, what's up? I'm Dan from Cellucor. I'm like EVP, whatever. Like, how are you? I'm like, you're right down the road from headquarters in Texas. You must be really tight with those guys. And they're like, he's like, no, I've never met anyone from the company. I'm like, what? Like, I mean, he was crushing. He's a big deal for us, right?
The C4 days, right?
Yeah, he was right down the road, right? They're in College Station. And I was like, okay, I'm going to hang up the phone now, and I'm going to see you in the morning. We're going to work out tomorrow. He's like, what? I lived in New York. I'm like, yeah, I'm flying down. So that's it. Flew down the next day. Like, look, people are important. Relationships are important, right? Flew down the next day, got to work out. And look, this is the Blue Gym. You know, probably would never satisfy blue, like hole in the wall gym.
900 square feet gym.
Yeah. And it's like 100 degrees out, you know. But look, you know, that kind of started just a friendship. And yeah, when we started to get ready to launch Ghost, came down here talking like big ideas, and, you know, brought samples down. I think all you guys, you know, in the front office. And I mean, man, what a ride since then, right? It's been crazy.
When people like talk about Ghost and how much they like it, they love it, I just think about that moment where y'all flew down with samples, and I was just like, bro, like, it's just crazy that like this company is this now. And I remember when I can be one of those people that says that, like, I remember when they came to Alphalete with the fucking samples, like plastic containers that said Ghost fruit punch, and we all tried it before workout, and we were fucking tweaking.
Little baggies.
Remember that?
Yeah, little baggies.
I remember that shit. Like, and then we exhausted that sample when you guys left, and I think Christian got some more delivered, and we just like fell in love with the product since then.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
No, I mean, dude, it's been a ride, you know, and I don't think we ever expected things to kind of get where they have. I think hopefully if there's ever like a case study or just like a lesson learned from this, it's like focus on the people, focus on the products. Like we say, details over dollars a lot. And I think we've been smart enough to know that, you know, if we keep our heads down and really focus on knocking all these things out of the park, like the money's going to be there. You can play the long game. Like so many times people want it now. They want to grow now, instant, like, you know, cash in the bank. Fine, but like play the long game, you know, with that long-term vision. And I mean, you just look up one day, it's been 5 years, and you're like, holy smokes. We're in how many stores, how many countries, right? It's just, I don't know. It's been really humbling and really, really cool.
Yeah, man, that's great.
Yeah. So I know you said y'all guys started like the floor of his condo. Like, how did you two meet? Did you work at Cellucor as well, or like?
You know, we actually were talking on the way over here, and we were like, is this going to be the podcast where we actually start to share some of the details that we genuinely haven't said to anyone?
Let's get some more cells going. Let's do it.
We put it on OnlyFans.
Real quick on that note, like we had always said, you know, because, you know, we've been filming for like 5 out of the 6 years. Like, yo, the 10-year anniversary video is going to be gold. We're just going to let it fly. Time flies. And now we're like 6 years out of the 10. I'm like, 15-year video. We're already here, but yeah, go ahead.
So my background, Dan and I come from the same industry, but my background's vastly different than Dan's. I was a fitness model. I have BB Fit Physique Pro. I was one of the first two. I did the fitness modeling thing in New York, started a training business, and the two of us actually connected via a mutual friend of ours in the gym. So we were going to work out in one day. Dan comes in. I'm like, who's this dude? He's like, this is Dan. He's from Cellucor. I was like, hey, Dan, from Cellucor.
Hey, Ryan.
And after that, like, we became the three amigos in New York. We hung out a ton, went to the gym all the time, but then also, like, Dan and I were in the same kind of time and phase in our life where, you know, which genuinely hasn't changed much. We partied all the time.
Yeah.
We, you know, we like to have a good time, and we
worked out a lot more back then.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
The working out thing has kind of tailed off a little bit in recent years, but we like to have a good time, and we became good friends, and we had always we aligned on a lot of key things with business, but also just as human beings that, you know, when you find those people, you keep them close. And we had always talked about, you know, doing something together, whether it be a brand or, you know, an idea that we had talked about. And we tried a bunch. I think we probably half-assed about 7 to 8 ideas before we hit on Ghost and decided to go all in. Right?
There's just like this like meal prep service there that was like, they had these like really bomb like protein cookies and brownies and stuff. And like, yo, we can commercialize, we can scale this. So we kind of like dipped the toe in that. We're both doing our, as a side project, right? Turned out that those things had 0 protein and 100 grams fat, and it was not good. So that didn't work out. We had some other, like, we just had a bunch of random ideas, but you know, we didn't go all in. So nothing ever.
It's a life lesson, though.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta go 2 feet in.
Yeah.
So finally, you know, the actual inception of Ghost and where it all kind of started was in a nightclub. Table 14, Hakusan. Olympia Weekend, which is, I mean, you guys are familiar with Olympia Weekend, right?
Yeah.
So massive trade show in Vegas, probably the biggest from a sports nutrition perspective in the States. It's like Arnold Sports Fest and the Olympia. But the Olympia was in Vegas, so it was kind of like, you know,
More of a
the
destination.
Arnold was
Yeah,
in
definitely,
Columbus.
yeah.
So the Olympia was like the show of the year. And obviously we would go every year with our respective brands. So I was with Glambia and their brand within Glambia BSN. I would go out with my team. Dan would go out with his. And you kind of, you know, every company had their events every Olympia. And we would do those, but it was like, we kind of just want to do our own thing.
They sucked. Like the corporate stuff, the entertaining, like, yeah, but you know, it's not.
You do like a dinner, and
Yeah.
then there's like a cocktail mixer.
Yeah.
And you're like, all right,
No
cool.
tables.
It's not the real.
No
yeah.
DJs.
It's not a bad day. Look, it's not a bad day at the office, but it's still not really what you want to be doing or who you want to be doing it with.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
So we were like, you know what? Fuck it. On Saturday night on this trip, let's just pay for it ourselves. Let's get our own table. And let's invite the people that we want to invite and have like a party of all parties. It was like opening month for Hakusan. It was Tiesto headlining. And we were like, all right, the stars have aligned. This is where we want to go. We want to dance for a table. We want to do it the right way. This is, I mean, like, it's for us at the time, like, this is a big bag that we're about to drop.
I was about to ask, how expensive was
Like,
that?
how'd y'all put together that?
Also, by the way, at the time, like, this is pre me living in Vegas, so we didn't have the connections in Vegas either.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like,
Oh, so you got
now,
taxed.
Now it's now it's different. Now it's different. Yeah. We paid the tourist tax on this
We
one.
paid the sticker price.
Yeah. Blue book value for that table. Here we
Market
go.
price for sure.
They definitely ran it up.
Yeah.
But it was exactly what we wanted, right? It was perfect. It was like you get the great. I mean, you guys have gone out a bunch, right?
Yeah.
And you get like the right squad out, the right spot, the right music, the right weekend. It's like it's worth all the money,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
we're having a great fucking time, and everybody's enjoying themselves. But it's all like the hitters in the fitness space at the time, right? So all the biggest influencers before influencers were a thing, like.
Steve, Paige, all you know, everyone.
Yeah. Everyone was out there chilling.
Yeah, so we're all having a good time, and Dan and I are just standing next to each other on the table, and we're like, damn, this is exactly, like, this is it, right? And we looked at each other, and we were like, no, this is it. This is the brand. We got to figure out how to bottle this and release it to the world. Because if you look around, this is the 99%, right? The 1% of people that are stepping on stage in the Olympia, like, why is everybody marketing to them?
Yeah.
Like, no one wants to look like Mr. Olympia. It's I mean,
That's
like,
facts.
look,
No, it's facts.
dude, when I was 14, right? Like, I was, you know, those magazines were like what I sought after to be. But then you grow up a little bit, and you're like, I want to look good, but I'm not trying to be Ronnie Coleman. Right?
Yeah.
So, you know, the 99% just wants to look good to actually go to Hakusan on Saturday night and
Yep.
have a couple of drinks and just
Yeah.
feel confident, right?
Facts.
Yeah.
And we were like, we should make a brand to those people, which is everyone. Right?
Look, at that time, you know, like, we were watching all these guys out that night. Like, everyone was hiding their drinks, taking pictures because
I remember that.
Yeah, they weren't allowed to be seen drinking.
Yeah.
It was like taboo. And the whole sports nutrition fitness industry at that time, it was like fake perfect, right? It was, you got to sleep this way, train this way, eat this way, supplement this way, or else you suck, right? It's like, well, that's not true.
Facts.
Because people want to like look and feel their best wherever that is on their own personal spectrum, to go and do what they want to do. You know, have fun with their friends, their people, whatever that means too, right? It's not part, not only party, not only like doesn't matter. It's like, why not create a brand that speaks to all that? Because the science is the same, the products are the same, but why is everyone marketing with like veins on veins and like all this? Like, why? You know, 500% more muscle mass. Like, no one knows what that means. Like, what are we doing, right? So why not create a brand that speaks to this? So, you know, we just kind of watch this thing and we're like, yo, like, we need to do this. Like, this is like, we have to, like, the world needs like to break, like, the marketing strategy is that there's no marketing, because look, everyone's doing this.
Yeah.
Why not just share it, right? And this is still like, you know, think about this, this is like 2012, 2013. This is pre like the real day, like this is early YouTube, early before Instagram, all
it was
this.
super
It was
fake perfect back then. Like,
Yeah.
no
That's sick.
drinking, no stories. Well, they didn't even have IG stories back then, maybe.
no,
Dude,
Yo, no IG posts with any margarita,
but-
like
but
hiding
Ryan's
shit.
Ryan's
My
Facebook page,
contract-
his Facebook page is lit though.
No shit. I had like 1 million on Facebook.
Oh, really?
Yeah. When Facebook was a thing, I was.
His
I was
Facebook-
Oh, from like
Poppin',
from the
boy.
modeling and shit.
Yeah. So
Yo, I
but,
know
like,
you was modeling your ass off, like abs and everything.
There's more pictures of my ass on the internet than I have. So, but dude, my contract specified like this is what you have to portray, right? And it's this idea of perfection, who nobody is, right? So I'm like, you know, you do that song and dance for long enough, and you're like, fuck this. This isn't even like.
Yeah.
I don't even do this to get on stage. You know, like I was, of course you gotta eat right and do the cardio and all those things, but like I never did it to, and maybe this is why like I turned pro and then got my ass kicked, because like I never fully went
Like
that mode,
psycho mode.
right?
Yeah.
But I don't think anybody ever really wants to do that, right? And for me, the stage thing was cool. It was definitely like 100% the right move for me, because it gave me opportunity, and I took that and I leveraged it and I built my brand in New York, and ultimately met Dan, right, and the two of us connected. So it was worth it. It was the right move at the time, but like where the world was going at the time, we were like, dude, this isn't it, you know? So we had the idea. I honestly left that weekend and was like, this is it, but Dan's never going to quit his job, because Dan's got a real job, right? And for me, it's like, if he called me, I was like, I could quit tomorrow. Fast forward about a year, he calls me
Damn.
and he says, I quit. And I was like,
No, what did I really say? Tell me what I said.
you said take a picture of yourself right now, which I still have. He was like, I fucking quit. Let's do this.
I was like, it's like, you're gonna remember this moment. Take a picture of yourself right now. Like, we're doing this thing.
That's crazy.
So I literally dropped my whole contract and everything. And
What year was that?
This was
November 2014.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And then, I mean, like, look, like we launched Ghost June 1st, 2016. It took us, 19 months to get everything together, get it all ready. And yeah, I mean, crazy, right?
What were y'all doing in those 19 months? Like,
building.
Yeah, building. I mean, just even the ideas, sending each other like mood boards, and what's so crazy too. Like, not to skip ahead, but right now, for the first time, I feel like those initial mood boards we're actually executing on this stuff. Like talking about like artist collabs and this inspo. We want to do these events and this. Like, it's funny. Like, this stuff doesn't happen overnight. Sometimes Instagram, social media makes it look like it happens overnight. But yeah, it took us 19 months to get products out. 19 months to get the website done, build the social, talk to our friends like who joined the team as ambassadors. Like, we couldn't afford them. We didn't have any money. When we launched Ghost, like I said, we launched Ghost, humble beginnings, pre-workout, aminos. We didn't have protein. You know why? It's the biggest category. Everyone takes protein. You know why we didn't have protein?
Expensive as fuck.
Couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
Straight up. We sold. Day one of the website. Boom, goes live. Everyone's pushing it. Everyone's excited. They heard about the brand, the whole like Ghost is coming. If you remember that whole thing,
Yeah.
Which that all started just totally randomly. When we were in England, I just went over to see like the Alpha League guys over at Body Power. Crashed the website. We were like so deflated. Like, man, no sales, right? Just because no one could get out, right? And people are blowing us up. Email, Instagram, Snapchat, didn't matter, right? Ryan at the time was like renting. Renting
I just moved to Vegas.
Yeah, furnished temp spot in Vegas, same building as where I was in. He comes out on the floor of my apartment, deflated. He goes back to his place, like, man, all right, well, tomorrow we'll call the dev team and we'll figure this out and kind of.
y'all couldn't get it back up. Y'all couldn't get it up.
I mean, they were trying, but like, it's getting late, kind of thing. So he goes downstairs. 15 minutes later, he's like banging on my door. Door flies open. He's got a bottle of wine. He goes, "We're not going down like that." So literally we stayed up the entire night emailing, DMing, snapping everybody back, just so like, manually processing orders, taking orders, didn't matter, like make sure everybody got their product and stuff. And I mean, we always hoped that we'd be able to look back and laugh at that, which now we finally can. But I mean, from that moment, man, brick by brick, just trying to use like one lesson or one win to kind of fuel the next one, and just keep building. So
that's crazy. That story gave me the chills.
Yeah, that's insane.
It's crazy because going back to the whole mood board thing, you're saying that you're just now executing those things that you had on your mood board. I would compare a mood board to kind of like an Instagram highlight reel. I think on mood boards, when you're starting a company or thinking about something, you put all the coolest stuff on the mood board just so it can become presentable to your partner or presentable for other people to see. It's like, okay, I want to invest in this idea because this mood board looks fucking amazing. But no one ever sees, like Instagram, the hard work that goes behind it that comes to the forefront to display the mood board. So I feel like you, from then till now, it's been all the hard work behind the scenes. And like we were talking about over there, like it's finally starting to, artist collabs. Yeah, big collabs that you guys were just mentioned.
I mean, we had the name, like we had the name early on, and the name Ghost like came from both of us kind of being behind the scenes at our last companies. Those companies kind of diluted themselves to go big, and it wasn't our vision, our ideas that got on a shelf. So we were like, in today's world, Instagram, social media driven world, everybody wants to have a voice. Everyone wants to be seen. So like Ghost, be seen. We're all ghosts. Like that kind of was that idea. It was clear in the trademark, like boom, done. We got the name. So then it was like, all right, what do we want to do for the vibe? And honestly, it's funny because last time we hung out, it was Aspen. Like we were really inspired by kind of that ski, snowboard, graffiti type of stuff. So pulling ski goggles and snowboard designs, and actually found some designers who did a lot of that kind of stuff, and they helped us develop some of the logo and the initial kind of vibe. And it's like, all right, well, what do we want the products to be? So just like the steps, right? And it's like all these different steps. And man, I wish we had our content team, the videographers, back then to kind of have captured all that. That'd have been really, I think, special. We shared a fair amount on like Snapchat, just doing what we could.
Snapchat memories go crazy once a year,
Yeah, seriously. But Ghost Snap style wasn't even life. We couldn't even get lifestyle. It was just Snap style. But like dude, we did what we could and just kept building it, and it's just crazy.
The key word there too is building, because it's not just about building a brand, right? Like so many people today, like entrepreneurs are the coolest thing, right?
Yeah, but everyone's an entrepreneur.
Everybody tries to be, right? But everybody's not meant to be.
Yeah.
Right? And it doesn't necessarily, building doesn't mean build a company, right? You could want to build a family, right? It comes from the confidence in knowing this is my shit, this is what I want to do, start building. I feel like success starts when you stop chasing and start building, right? And for the longest time, I feel like, at least in my career, it was constantly like, oh, this guy's doing this, like I gotta beat this guy, right? The moment that I shifted from that to, okay, what's this brand gonna be about, right? And got wrapped up in the build of the next big thing, it's like the dollars, the placings, all of that shit just disappeared. It didn't matter anymore. And fun fact, like today, you fast forward, and Dan and I actually never talk about this. We don't share a lot of shit on a lot of this stuff, but fun fact today, we both were making more money in New York than we do right now. Truthfully. Like, we've been building a brand, and obviously long term, you're playing the long game, right? But, from a dollars and cents standpoint, like, we're not walking around with bags, right? Like, we were making more money back then than we are now. And never once do we even like talk about it. We didn't have a single conversation during the build, right? And we're still building, right? But we didn't have a single conversation during the build about dollars, about selling this thing, about let's grow this and let's sell it.
How big it could be, how much money. We didn't have a single combo. It was always like, yo, here's what we want to do differently. Here's where we want the brand to go. Here's the people we want to include, and kind of what we, where we want to go with it. And again, knowing in the back of our minds, like, yo, if we do these things, the dollars are going to be, the sales are going to be there. We don't have to worry about that, right? But yeah, it's all about that philosophy. Like you said, entrepreneurism is cool nowadays. I mean, back in my day in high school, like if you were an entrepreneur, you're a loser.
They probably thought you were crazy.
Right? Yeah. Nowadays, everyone's an entrepreneur. And it's funny, like our first office was a glass box at WeWork. Like all these little companies, entrepreneurs running around. Man, everybody in there was talking about, oh, the next capital raise, the next sale, here's our exit plan. Like, oh, cool. Like, what do you guys do? Oh, sweet. You guys making money? Wait, oh, no, we're losing 10 million. Wait, hold on. Because where I come from, to put food on the table, we got to be actually like making money.
Yeah.
And again, it's funny because I know we can get a lecture from like the MBAs out there talking about debt and whatever.
Yeah.
Fine, cool. For us, the way we did it, call us old school. It was like, hey, like we got to be profitable from day one. We're only going to go as fast as that allows, right? And again,
There's a reason why we only launched with Fruit Punch and Blue Raz pre-workout, right? It's because we didn't have enough money to get protein.
And I was
think
chasing the collabs. We knew we wanted to do collabs. I was relentless, right? We were tenacious. We were emailing, sending LinkedIn messages, like finding phone numbers, carrier pigeons, smoke signals, didn't matter. Like we needed to get into these companies. We knew we wanted to do that, and we didn't want to launch like. Why didn't we launch like with a watermelon? Because I want to get the real one.
Yeah.
So like we knew, we even had the restraint there. Like, yo, we're not going to launch these fun flavors generically
Until it's the real.
Because I'm going to get this real thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to get it.
That leads me to my second question. Was like, how did it, like the whole process of getting the first collab? It was Warheads, right? So walk us through the process of, you know, whoever you had to email, whatever, the flavoring, like all the whole like sampling, and then the feeling of like finally actually knowing like, oh shit, we just got our first collab. What if that was like such a big goal for you?
Warheads was first?
Yeah, Warheads was actually the first one to come out. And then Sour Patch Kids and Swedish Fish came out in BCAs about a year and a half later. And then after that was Welch's, and then Sonic, and then so on after that. But I mean, look, the first few conversations we had, we'd meet them, and they understood the brand, they understood the two of us, they kind of understood what we wanted to do. But the questions they had were kind of about what we were talking about, the history of sports nutrition. Like, but wait, like it's all bodybuilders, it's veins on veins, it's this. Like we had to defend that. That's actually why we're so passionate about brands in the space, committing to quality, committing to doing things right, staying away from the bogus claims. We're passionate because we've had to defend the industry to the real world, right? So, and when you're in that meeting, sitting there like, I love pre-workout, I love protein, I love all my homies. I'm sitting there defending all of that and the heritage that comes behind it. This dude went to jail for lying about this or this. Like we had to speak on behalf of all of those people. So that's why we're so passionate about doing it right. And, sometimes, go off on rants on social, whatever about it, because like we were in the position to defend the entire industry to the big brands of the world. But, once they kind of got past some of that, the next thing was like, well, wait a sec, like we're a candy or a cookie. So you're a health product. Like, how does that work? Are people going to be confused? I'm like, no, because the industry at that time, all the flavors are fun. Chocolate cake, vanilla ice cream, whatever, strawberry this, like everyone's kind of like trying to evoke like or infer like a dessert or sweet type flavor.
Yeah.
So let's just make it legit.
Yeah, because they don't want to eat Oreos, but like because they're on prep or whatever.
Right.
But they want the taste.
There's cookies and cream.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. There's
Yeah.
plenty of cookies and cream out. And even it's funny because even right before we launched the licenses and the official collabs, you started to see the fake collabs come out, Sour Batch Bros and stuff like that. Like, get out of here, right? but it really, dude, it really begs the question that I have: how the hell was Ghost the first? Because this was not genius. This was obvious, straight up. Like I don't think we're that smart with this stuff. Like this was out there. You go to your grocery store, everything's collab. Like. This cereal, like Sour Patch Kids cereal, this ice cream, this, that, right? Like you see collaborations in CPG all the time. I have no idea how we were the first.
We didn't stop at no. I mean, I think we got a lot of no's.
Yeah, I don't think people picked up the phone, or if they got a no, that was it. On to the next thing, So we just kept our head down. We didn't take no for an answer. We kept pushing, looked under every rock for contacts, for anything we could do. Finally launched the Warhead. So it was Warhead Sour Watermelon, December 1st, 2016. Sold out, was a huge splash, huge deal. And then finally, like Sour Patch Kids and Swedish Fish came around about a year and a half or so later. But the rule there was like, hey, like we don't want to do caffeine, only BCAs. It's a little more conservative. Want to make sure the sky doesn't fall. And I was like, all right, cool. What about protein though? What about like Chips Ahoy? They're like Oreo, like never gonna happen, never. I was like, yeah, but why? And initially with Chips Ahoy, this is how like the big companies work sometimes. Like, well. Our core demographic for Chips Ahoy, like, it's mom. Mom's buying Chips Ahoy, right? Younger people don't buy Chips Ahoy. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense, right? So fast forward a year to like the licensing expo. I think we're now in 2018 licensing expo. The Mondelez like kind of collab person runs up to me, get in. I got brand new consumer data for you. I'm like, all right, what do you got? She's like, well, we have new data that shows us not just mom eating cookies. I'm like, no shit. right? Like
I eat them.
you know, yeah, we all
I
eat
buy
them our
them,
whole life,
yeah.
right? Yeah, you know, and so like then we got boom, Chips Ahoy, and the whole story has been like again brick by brick. Launch Chips Ahoy, goes off. It's been the number one selling third-party protein at GNC since the launch. And after that, Nutter Butter is like, hey, like what about us?
Damn, y'all collab with
Yeah.
Right? And then
No, the
finally-
Nutter Butter one is amazing.
Yeah, it's
Nutter
dude,
Butter, bro. CJ sent me some. I'm out of it. Shit's amazing.
CJ, more Nutter Butter to the Inaka office. And then finally, probably the most surreal phone calls. You get on this phone call, like Oreo wants to talk. Well, okay, they said it would never happen. So it's the world's biggest cookie brand, 100% brand awareness. Insane, right? Billions of dollars, whatever. And they get on the phone, and you know what they said to me? Said, yo, why don't we start with Oreo? Like, why did it take so long? I'm like, you tell me, So I tried to keep a straight face. I was like, look, we had to earn our stripes.
Yeah.
Right. We had to put ourselves at this table, knowing like full well we can execute, having the history of execution. Because I don't want to be the dude who screws up Oreo. Right. So like, I mean, look again, the process. Commit to the process. Play the long game. It's been key.
Has there been any like hardships with those collabs, or is it just all smooth?
I mean, with the collabs, I think that's generally been smooth because there's so much time and care. Like, bro, every social collateral that goes out has to be reviewed for some of
That's
these
the
guys.
hardship. It's just time.
Yeah, the time. I mean, we really care. Like, look nowadays, especially in sports nutrition, everybody's rocking collabs. So I think like execution is going to be the big differentiator.
Yeah.
Who really goes the extra mile? Who really does it the authentic and official way?
Yeah, I've
You're
seen people.
starting to see a lot of
I've seen a
people
few. I've
up
seen
to
a few
that.
people throw random collabs and they just come and go.
But for me, it's like, how the fuck are they? Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
mean,
at this point they're just fishing for a collab because y'all did
Yeah.
it.
Well, look, if you zoom out, they're like, "Yo, collabs work. We need one."
Yeah.
Right. But
Just
look,
collab
we're
with anybody.
really proud that we feel like we work with the best brands in the world.
We got the
without
one
a
here
doubt.
on it, yeah.
Without
know?
a doubt, and y'all did it first.
Yeah.
But
I
it wasn't
mean,
like y'all started with the smaller brands and then
we held out.
Yeah, exactly.
We held out. Man, there were some some brands out there that I don't want to speak badly on anyone, but like when we were like looking, like some opportunities came our way because we were looking, and I was like, no, it's not it. Sorry.
Yeah.
And then you see them like kind of end up working with somebody else now, like years later. You're like,
Yeah.
losers.
Yeah.
I don't want to speak bad about anybody.
Yeah.
I didn't say it.
Yeah.
Who said the name though?
I didn't say
No one
it.
said any
I didn't
names,
say it.
but,
I didn't say
you
it.
know.
Yeah, but no, look again, like patience and waiting for the right opportunity, the right people. It's really important. That's a life lesson for anything, not just business. I think that's important. So, yeah, I mean, but as far as like hardships go, I mean, like Ghost, as you guys probably know, right? Like any business, it has its ups and downs.
Yeah.
There's been plenty. I think like like those first few weeks of Ghost definitely were interesting for a lot of reasons. Obviously crashed the website, and it was a bad look, and
Crashed a couple things.
figured all that. Yeah, we a couple days later, man, we get invited to GNC conference. We were about to launch in GNC. We're like one of the first brands, or the first brand to ever have a national launch plan at GNC from day one. Part of that probably had to do with our backgrounds and everything. So we get invited to this conference. Product's not even on shelf. Everyone's talking about it. They're all fired up. A couple days later, my old brand decided to mess with me and send us a nice 100-page love letter. Trying to like come after us for some stupid stuff. And look, that was super stressful for a while. Everything obviously got worked out. It's all good. A lot of stuff just had to get kind of cleared up. But in the process of all that, I got in a car accident, so that was a bummer.
Yeah.
No one got hurt, thankfully. But I had to bum rides off Ryan. Ryan had a whip out in Vegas, so at least I got to use his.
I had a sick white Jetta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just riding around clean in
We
Vegas.
shared the white Jetta for the better part
What
of 6
year was it
months.
though? It was a classic.
It was like a 2012 Jetta, dude. It was
Beautiful.
amazing.
Hitting the strip in the white Jetta.
That was
What you talking about?
Yeah.
There were periods of time, we went from launch, right? We crashed the website, and then we said, okay, we got this collab in December. There were some times in there where, like, dead ass, we were like, shit, this is gonna work.
Yeah.
Like, are we gonna survive this one?
Did we make a mistake?
I mean, I moved. I ripped up. We both basically quit our lives, moved to Vegas, right? I bring my fiance along. She's a trooper. And I moved her 3-4 times. Rip her out of her job. We were also making decent money. Now we have no money. Mm-hmm. Now we're moving out here, and it's like one thing after the next. It just I never forget the night we got home after the car accident. She sat me down, just laid in. Mm-hmm. She was like, "You moved me out here. everything's happening, like it's one thing after the next, and then you get into a car accident, and she's like, now it's like you almost left me here, and I'm like, shit, that's heavy, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, did I make the right decision? Did we do this the right way? But I mean, like you said, brick by brick, it's like you wake up the next day, you go to work, and one thing leads to another. Like you start, it's small wins, especially early on like that. Like it's we get punch. Okay, we got a little victory, right?
Yeah.
The site's back up. We got product on the site. We're making some sales, right? And you start stringing those things together. Next thing you know, like that first collab drop for us was amazing for so many reasons. It was not just because it was the first license in the industry.
It's like
but
a rebirth.
It was like a relaunch to the brand. It was like
Yeah.
okay, you know, this is gonna be good. Like we made the right decision. We weathered the storm. Like it's gonna be good.
You feel like, this is the way I kind of think about it. I feel like in business, you make that huge sacrifice, that huge initial sacrifice, and then it's like, okay, I'm 6 feet under now.
Probably, we were probably like 7.
7 feet under, but to get back to service, it's gonna be an incline, but it's gonna be a lot of fights, like the car accident, everything else that happened, the conversation with your girl, is just, you see it, you guys see it, which is why y'all are the visionaries, but it's hard for other people to see it because they're not behind it. So you're fighting, and then the collab happens, and then boom, it's all right, we have life again.
Yeah, that was a big moment for us. Definitely a big like legitimizer, even probably to ourselves internally. Like we never even talked about that, but just in general, just like, all right, cool. Like this idea, it worked. Like it's working.
Yeah,
like we always set out to get this. It's working. And then, we launched our protein actually right before that collab drop. We had this like kind of random. Well, first of all, we had Olympia. And we had no product at Olympia. So we had Olympia, we paid for it, we had no product. We were giving out sample sticks and whatever. Then we dropped this protein. I think we could only afford like 500 units of each flavor. That was gone in like seconds. So that, like, I mean, that was cool. It was like, oh, sweet. But then like half the internet hated us.
Yeah.
You know, and then we had like had a big restock. Yeah, you guys know that well. Yeah. Had a big restock and the launch of the collab December 1. And, you know, since then, we just never really looked back. You know, it's just been, you know.
Damn, you only launched 500 of each flavor?
I think that's all we could afford, something like that.
I mean, we had, because of the hurdles that we had gone
Yeah.
through,
Yeah.
like, we were strapped. And, and like
all those things cost money. You got to remember too. So we launched a brand that cost money, built a brand that cost money, built the website, all this stuff, right? You know,
inventory.
Never mind the personal accidents or whatever. Okay, fine, that costs money. You know, having to deal with some legal stuff that costs money. You know, all these things, everything. So I mean, you're bleeding.
Yeah.
Right?
So when you're in those moments of hardships for the both of you, like when y'all both come home and you're questioning, like, damn, was this even worth it? Like, is this the right decision? Like, what were you holding on to that was like, let's just keep it pushing? Like, for the both of you.
Was it like each other? Like, was it like, I promised Ryan this? I promised Ryan this.
Look, I'll be honestly, I felt a lot of responsibility for him and his girl. I had just me, right? I ride alone, so like whatever, you know what I mean? But yeah, I felt like, man, like I, you know, kind of convinced, you know, my boy to make this jump. You know, his girl came with him, and you know, I'm the one with like kind of all the experience building this stuff in the industry or whatever. Like this is on me. We gotta get this right. So yeah, I felt a ton of pressure, you know, in that moment to kind of figure this thing out and get on the right path. But to be real, I mean, we were together every step of the way on that thing. You know, especially again in today's world, like, you know, we had to keep social media going, had to be on. We were on Snapchat, you know, all the time doing it. We were just anything just to kind of keep the story going, and get back to, as you said, get back to the surface. So
it's cool too. Like, I mean, it's not necessarily cool, but like we experienced all of those things together. Like, I mean, I was seatbelt strapped, riding shotgun in the car, right? So, you know, we had all of those moments that we went through together, and it was almost like, at this point, like, we have to do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think the genesis of the friendship initially started with like, okay, you know, we kind of yin and yang really well, so something would work. So then when we made the jump and then we experienced a lot of these hardships together, it was like, we're invested now. Not just dollars wise, but we're personally
like blood, sweat, and tears
and
shit for real.
We have to make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, look, you know, after that, like the goal of business, goal of life is to have more wins and losses, right? More good days and bad days. You do that, you string some good days together, like, you know, it's amazing, like kind of how that compounds and where you could take it. But I mean, look, it's been constant up and down, but overall the trend goes up, and that's all you could ever hope for.
Facts.
I mean, look at 2020, bro. We went into 2020 literally like giving each other like a bro hug, being like, man, We've been through it all, baby.
Yeah.
We've been through it all. There's no more curveballs. Yeah.
I remember
everyone got
2020,
smacked
bro.
in
2020 New Year's was on your old townhome, and we were on the roof like popping
Oh my
fireworks.
God.
We legit were going into 2020. January 1st, we're gonna drop our shorts, which we thought we were like, man, our shorts are gonna be like the best thing. So we drop our, we do all that. Then the COVID hits. Fucked, man. Fucked.
Yeah.
Bro.
There were days when we would go to the office when legit, like, all we had to do, it was literally me and him. Sam, the other owner, still was, like, doing his like, corporate job. So it's just literally me and him. We would work for, like, an hour, and we were done because there was, like, 14 orders to print.
Yeah.
No
That was
emails to respond to.
Truly dark times.
Yeah.
Nobody was at the office because everyone was, like, on COVID, and they're, like, they had to work from home.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, dude,
bad.
it was. Yeah, I mean, for us, it's crazy because first, like, all of our retail stores close, right? Like GNCs all have to close. Then they kind of reopen. Then GNC, and by the way, at the time, like, Ghost is only available at ghostlifestyle.com and also at GNC. That's it. So when these stores close, like, that's a big part of our business. And then in June, right, GNC declares bankruptcy. So now my only third-party customer in the U.S. goes through a bankruptcy.
Wow.
And there's just a lot of uncertainty about that, like how, and like it wasn't like a total shutdown, right? It was a reorg and everything. So, but look, we talked to them a ton, and it's one of the things I'm probably most proud of with Ghost, like, history, that we rocked with them. We didn't like take their hardship and go and expand all these places. We're like, yo, we're gonna get you. We went through tough times. We know how that is. You guys are going through a tough time. We're gonna rock with you. You're gonna come out of it stronger. So we stay with them. Boom, they came at stores to reopen. They kind of get past some of the initial bankruptcy stuff. Boom, they closed some stores, but now they're in a leaner, meaner footprint. Like, and we've been just on fire again. Like the loyalty and the partnership, the people you surround yourself with. Like, that's the themes. I think with anything that we've done.
Yeah.
I mean, you tore your bicep in the middle there somewhere. I mean, we went.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was a lot.
I remember that.
So I mean, we went to work every day. We had a quarter of our current office built out, and we had actually just finished the second piece.
Is y'all's office like on a floor?
Yeah.
It's just like one big
So
floor.
now we have the whole
one
floor.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
We started with a quarter, then we took the other half.
Okay.
But the second quarter was like we literally pulled a ribbon off this thing, and a week later COVID hits.
I'm like, fuck, Jesus Christ. Yeah.
So now we've got this office space, and it's Dan and I and two others. Holden used to came and just kicked it for the. I think people just wanted to get out of their house. To be honest, but I was like, dude, I can't work at home, so I'm going in every day.
Crew.
Yeah.
So we went in every day and worked, and to be honest, like, there's a silver lining in everything. And for us during that time, it was the first time really since the inception of the brand, when we were laying on his condo floor, that we had significant time together to kind of think about the next chapter.
Straight up, we were laying on the office floor, ideating and brainstorming, doing all that.
Everything paused at that. During 2020,
Yeah.
everything just slowed the fuck down.
It's like
Which
that
was-
movie
which was
Switch, where
almost
the dude hits
needed.
Yeah.
pause
It
on the
was.
road.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, it was to be honest, we embraced it. We were like, okay, look, let's just see if we can get ahead, because eventually, like, we're going to get out of this. And when we do, what's the brand? Like, what's the next move? And we kind of mapped it out. And that was, to be honest, like the energy drink.
Birth of Ghost Energy.
That's where it started. I don't know that.
The birth of Ghost Energy, and also the birth of Ghost Gaming. What we were sitting home
because
playing
everyone's
Xbox.
sitting,
Right.
Yeah.
Which
So-
wasn't intentional. I mean, like, it wasn't intentional at all. It just so happened that it launched during that time.
Yeah, the Ghost Gamer was already planned, and it just took a while to build and get all the partnerships and collabs and the way we wanted to do it. And we planned to launch that May 2020. So, look, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, right?
Yeah.
Like, I own that. But yeah, we launched Ghost Gaming during that. That was the birth of Ghost Energy, during all that. So, again, you could have either sat there and been defeated and been depressed and been down, like, man, this stinks. Yeah, it stinks for everybody. Or you could, like, really try to, how can we use this time to our advantage? How can we get ahead? How can we set a course in motion right now that's going to carry us for the next, like, 4 or 5 years? So
I feel like I took more supplements during 2022.
Yeah.
Like, we used to get these bullshit workouts on the second floor in our building. We set up like some bands and
big
stuff.
band guys.
Bro,
Yeah, big
remember
band.
you used to post like Instagram videos on your rooftop, like with
We were just getting after it with just no
with
weight.
dumbbells and
And so we were hitting it every day. And then there was like there was a couple months where like gyms opened back up, right? And like life became a little normal.
Yeah.
And then it shut back down again.
Yeah.
But during that time, literally like week 1 back in the gym, do some preacher curls, arm just rips off.
Fuck.
I was like, I literally watched it. I'm doing like 40. It wasn't even a lot. It was nothing jarring. It was just, I'm doing curls and there goes the bicep rolled up to my shoulder.
Jesus Christ, man. What?
So I get the surgery like 3 days later. And then they get you in this like sling. So I'm like, my arm's like taped up to my.
Didn't you visit Alphalin with the?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I get back in the office and about a week after I tore it, so I had just gotten the stitches removed and they put me in the sling. And like a week later, I test positive for COVID. And I tell my girl, and I'm like, you got to go get tested, blah, blah, blah. She gets tested and she's negative. And I'm like, shit.
She's a nurse, so it's a big deal like that.
She can't be near me, right? So she's like, you can't come home. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna sleep at the office. So I move into the office for 2 weeks.
Like your own office or like
no,
the
no,
office?
I lived in the office. So I told everybody.
It's
I was
like this. We got like a lounge set up.
Yeah.
So you're just 6 feet away?
It's kind of dope. Well, no, so
I was in Vegas.
Yeah, so Dan went to Vegas, right? So everybody else stayed home. It was the 2 other people that were coming in. I was like, look, I got COVID. You can't come in. So I just live in the office for 2 weeks. I'm ordering food and shit. One day I go downstairs, and this was like right around the election. So Chicago was preemptively like boarding up again.
Jesus Christ. I was there.
Yeah, you were there, right?
I was moving my sister into medical school, or her doctor, whatever shit.
It was crazy during the summer in Chicago, but then, things kind of normalized and stuff opened up again. And but then around the election, they were trying to be proactive, right?
Yeah.
So I wake up one morning and I go downstairs and I was going to, just walk outside. Like
to get some
fresh air, right?
Feel the sun.
I'm on my phone and my head's down. I'm on my phone and our entrance has like 2 doors, and the first one is like the interior door is the one that locks.
Yeah.
Go out the first door, push the second door, it doesn't move. I look up and I'm boarded in, and then the door shuts behind me.
Sheesh.
So now I'm stuck in this vestibule. I got
God.
one arm and I have fucking COVID, and I literally just sit down for like 30 minutes and say nothing. And I'm just like
fuck it at this point.
I'm just like, what?
That's rock bottom, boy.
That's pretty much rock bottom.
So I ended up calling one of the girls that works with us. She lived up the street, and she like fobbed me in from the outside. She couldn't see me. She was like, you in there? I'm like, yeah, that's me. She fobs me in. I get back in.
Wow.
But it was a wild couple weeks.
Jeez, man.
Damn, that sucks.
Chicago around that time sucked too. It was pretty fucking political and shit.
But again, like silver linings, like, we had a space in Vegas. We opened the warehouse in Vegas during that. And, like Vegas is super weird, right? It was empty. Like imagine going to one of those casinos with like, not a single person.
Insane.
And like the restaurants, what they would do when they were allowed to reopen with like 4 people max per table, they would like kind of rotate what days are actually open. And like, look, at that time we were like, we just needed to do, like Chicago was still totally shut down. So we kind of go out there. I still have my place in Chicago too. I was kind of going back and forth. We go out there and it's like, we're gonna have dinner, And I never remember. I'll never forget like the first dinner, like where they go, how do you want your steak cooked? I'm like, what do I say here? I forgot. I forgot how to order. But like we'd go to these restaurants, it'd be totally empty. We'd be the only 2 people at Carbone. Yeah. And again, like silver lining, like the people at Catch, like became lifelong friends. People at Carbone, lifelong friends. Now stuff's popping again. We can get tables. It's good. But,
yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
But that's where it came from. Just again, like people and finding silver linings and just trying to stay positive and trying to reconnect after that was like taken from us. So again, like I feel like 2020 actually might go down as one of my favorite years of Ghost. As crazy as it was, just like the stuff that we put in motion. I mean, we also like at the start of kind of all that versus like when we came out of it. I think we doubled the company from like a people perspective. We started at 20 people. Now even still barely removed from all this, we're like 60. It's just crazy, like the growth. And again, it's a lesson in setting the foundation, being patient, and then just the second you hit that straightaway, man, pedal to the metal.
Yeah. So you guys said that you conceptualized Ghost Energy during 2020. Prior to that, was that even ever a thought, or was it just like, oh, we're gonna do supplements, or like? Well,
the initial thought I think came the end of 2018. We were just talking about like what are some other product categories we can add, legs to the stool, what we talk about, right? And like again, like I think the vision for Ghost ultimately is like we want to be the Nike of active nutrition, right?
Yeah.
Where a lot of times you see brands, great brands that are bigger than even Ghost, right? Where they kind of do one thing and do it well. Like they only make pre-workout, they only make protein, they only make energy drinks. But like, why can't we create like kind of Nike, who's got, football, basketball, running? Why can't we create that same type of thing, but in this category with kind of our product set, right? Our product suite. So that's always been the vision. And we were talking about this in late 2018. It's like, one of the things most commonly purchased with Ghost at like a GNC is an energy drink. So why don't we see if we could do this? Like we could, fully disclose the formula like we do with everything with Ghost. We could just call our collab partners and see if they'd be into collab on a can. If they say yes, then I think this is going to be a home run. So like that all kind of got in motion. And then at the end of the year, we get this cold email from this dude named Brendan. Okay. And Brendan's like, so he's like, hey guys, I was at GNC. I bought a bunch of your products. I love it. You guys are like the only thing that sticks out to us, right? Stuck out to me right now. Like amazing stuff. I guessed your emails, but I work for Anheuser-Busch. I had sales for them. Like, we should talk. If you've ever had interest in doing a beverage or whatever, we should talk. So Ryan forwards me the email because he had Daniel at Ghost, and that's not me. So, so like, Ryan got the email. So anyways, forwards me the email. And he's like, hey, like we should hit this guy back. I'm like, yeah, if this is legit, it sounds interesting. So, get on a call with him the next day. And this was like 19 now. So everybody living on Zoom and Microsoft Teams. So they send us a Zoom link, and they have this like high def conference room, all whatever. And we're on like a laptop in like a temp office space. And so they're like, hey guys, like, can you turn your camera on so we could see you? I'm like, like we're like the movie The Internship. We're like crowded in there, like, so like, and have this conversation and like, okay, this sounds cool. You guys want to hop a flight tomorrow and come out here and talk about this? Like, all right, cool. So we went out there and started again, like building the idea of, hey, if we're going to do an energy drink and if AB is going to be involved, what does this look like? And again, like, look, there's no ego at Ghost, right? There's no, that's just not how we do. Like, we really believe in partnership. We believe that, life, personal and professional, is a team sport. Even if we could do it by ourselves, why the hell would you want it? Right. And so again, you zoom out like, man, okay, you got Ghost and the brand that we built. You got these collab partners on the flavors. You got Anheuser-Busch on distribution. Like, yo, this is the dream team. Right. Yeah. And so we started kind of this whole like relationship stuff, and boom, they're finally ready to go in 2020. And I mean, that kind of just started the rocket ship. Even then though, those initial cans had some issues, right? Like the version of carnitine we're using was kind of like, I don't want to get so technical, but like just was kind of breaking down and like kind of had a weird smell to it. So boom, had to reconfigure again. Like, own your L's, learn from them, reconfigure. We shared all that like on YouTube, share it with the world, right? People, it's not always perfect, right? We've owned that too. Like I said, no ego, and off we went. Maybe the craziest like next check-in on that story though, July of last year, big news article. Our boy Brendan became the CEO of Anheuser-Busch.
Wavy.
Jesus Christ.
That's legendary.
I was like, man.
That's legendary.
Wow.
I know. But like, again, people, relationships, right? That's the theme.
Crazy.
That's the theme.
Yeah.
Building the team. Having to do like that on your team, holy shit, right?
Yeah.
We never thought any of that kind of stuff would happen.
That's crazy.
So it's just been, again, it's just so proud of what we built, but mostly I'm proud of like the people and like the opportunities and all that. So even our like very first team member, right? Maybe team number 2. He's sitting right over there. Man, CJ.
Yeah.
It's cool. People, have them, keep them together on the ride.
Mm-hmm. No, I feel that. With COLLABS, as far as like energy, because I know that originally Sour Patch didn't even want to do pre. Did that like ever come up, or was it like at this point you have already done enough pre, you've already worked enough so they trust you guys to like just run whatever?
It's gotten easier right now because now you have like so much success and such a great portfolio. Like look, when we did the Space Jam collab last November to commemorate the 25th anniversary of the initial film, they called us. They're like, yo, we're big fans of Ghost. Like, I think you reached out to us years ago, but, it wasn't the right time for anything. But, this year's the 25th anniversary. You guys want to do something in your category, it could be really special. So, and then the way Ryan and his team brought it to life is just insane. Monster Hours for Toon Squad, all the apparel and stuff. So,
yeah, I definitely loved everything that you do, like with marketing, because like it's kind of my role at Inaka. So it's like look up to you in that sense. Because like when I've even told them like what Ghost did to supplements is like what we want to do or what we're trying to do currently with like fitness apparel. Because like prior to, I started really working out when Ghost was already a thing, but that was the only thing I took because like that shit just looks cool, bro. Like that's what it's like. Like now our story of like the people who just want to look good, that makes 100% sense.
But you guys started with weight belts. That was the first thing, right?
Yeah.
Knee
Or the
sleeves.
or sleeves.
Knee sleeves, yeah.
Before the
Knee
belts.
sleeves,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then the wrist wraps.
And our thing was always to try and make them look cool.
Yeah.
Like how do you
It's
stand
an
out?
accessory in the gym that now, I mean, especially today, right? Like people match that shit to their kicks.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly. Like anyone can make the 600 milligrams of whatever the fuck or like the best thickest weight belt, but like I just want to look cool, man.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna look good and look cool in the gym, and like my supplements look cool, like and it tastes good, and it's like that's an Oreo collab, not just some regular cookies and cream shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and so when you say that, like that, I resonate with it a lot because it's like that's the shit that I want to create with Inaka. On my personal job at Inaka, like is to make shit cool, like not the fucking strongest weightlifting 300-pound man belt.
Because anybody could do that.
Exactly.
My thing is, I say like we formulate for the 1% that understand it, build the brand, the marketing, the message, the flavors for the 99%. And that 1%'s critical though. Like what's under the hood has to be legit. I mean, like I know you're a car guy more than me, but like I mean, some people don't necessarily care about all the tech specs, the horsepower, the torque. Some people don't care about that. They just want, like, they like the brand, right? Oh, it's a Lambo, it's this, it's that, right? Some people really get into that.
Yeah.
And, like, those cars wouldn't be those cars if what's under the hood wasn't great. So that 1% is so important, right? But they might not be marketing it all the time based on, like, our engine is better than your engine.
Yeah.
No, it's the whole package.
Yeah.
And I think, like,
when
being
you buy
inspired
that
by
name,
that.
you know it's
That's what we do. I mean, like, you turn around the back of the can, turn around the back of the package, like, trust what's there. It's efficacious, it's innovative. We use a lot of patented ingredients. We third-party test everything. Like, that's like the bottom line. But we make the story about everything else 'cause that's what everyone else cares about. I don't even know how many pairs of Air Maxes I own. I can't tell you how the air bubble works. I don't even give a shit.
Yeah.
Right? I like the brand. I like how they I like the the performance. Right? They feel they're comfy as hell. Like they look good. Like that's why I buy it.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe there's somebody out there that buys it because they get off on the air bubble tech. I don't know.
It's like they get an extra inch in their jump. They're like, nah, testing like airbags and shit.
It's funny you say that because when we talk about supplements that taste good, we automatically associate that with Ghost because we know behind the Ghost name, everything that they put out tastes amazing.
Or would be out.
So it's like I don't need to like check. Oh, how do they make this?
Yeah.
Like, what does this taste
what
like?
What ingredient?
If I see Oreo, I know it's gonna taste like Oreo when I put it in my mouth. If I see Sour Patch Kids, I know it's gonna taste like Sour Patch Kids. So
I appreciate that, bro.
It's definitely a good like thing to I guess create from the beginning, and then after that you build that trust, that name trust, and everyone just starts rocking with you since you I guess do that. So
it's funny, like especially we got Johnny over there who does a lot of video photo for us.
Young Johnny.
But Johnny started with us like 4 weeks ago, and one of the first things that he brought me into the room. I'm gonna put you on blast for a minute, man. He brings me into the room. And Johnny does some dope shit.
Yeah.
Right. And look, I know he does some dope shit. He also knows he can do some dope shit. But we have a ton of talented creatives on the team, right? And one of the first things that I said to him, which I've said to everybody on the team, he brought me in for a second look at a different video. And the first thing he said to me was, look, I didn't have as much time on this one. And I was like, I don't even want to watch it. And he's like, why? And I'm like, because you don't love it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you don't love it, take another day. It's got to be good, right? It's got to be up to the bar that we've set, or else we won't release it. And that's just kind of like, that's how everybody should hold themselves to, right? Set the bar and then don't do anything below that bar.
Yeah.
And I think we try to do that, whether it's with flavor, whether it's with formula, whether it's with the labels, with everything, right? The content we produce, check every box, right? And you set the bar and you don't go below the bar.
Yeah.
And take as long as you need to hit the bar.
Yeah.
There's no rush.
Don't put out a product just so you can make money.
Right.
Perfect.
I think you guys have done a great job.
Yeah,
With that too.
yeah.
Like you guys. I mean, like we want our rep to be that we only hit home runs. I think you guys same deal.
Yeah.
Thank you. It
Yeah, I
doesn't seem
appreciate
like that from the inside sometimes.
Sometimes we're like,
it doesn't.
Yeah.
We don't think that. Yeah, I don't think any artist, loose use of the term. Right?
Yeah.
I don't think any artist like loves their work like that.
Yeah.
But it's important. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
By the way, Johnny went out, picked up another couple clips. Video's fire.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, you know what I mean? Like that's, you can hit the bar. You gotta, if it takes a couple more days,
It's fine to take a few more days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny story about Johnny. When I started working with Shaw, so I was pretty much the first employee Johnny is like the one person that I know from Instagram that like has followed me since like I was working at the warehouse. Yeah, Cozy, like that's my old brand. Like he's been following me since then, and so we always just like connected, always stayed in touch. And before he like announced that he was working with you, because he's always showing love to Ghost, so it just made sense. But I remember when he told me like before, and I was so hyped. Like, and I never met him. Like today's literally the first day I met him, but I was so hyped when he told me he was working with you guys. I was like, bro, like, because he had been grinding for it, so it was like so dope to see. So yeah, no, I'm proud of you, Johnny. Proud of you, Johnny.
Yeah, no, dude, we keep adding to the team, keep setting ourselves up for the next chapter. And, you know, I mean, dude, like the stuff that we've got coming this year, the partnerships, the events, some of the product stuff we have coming this year, it's mind-blowing. No shortage of pinch me moments.
Yeah.
You know, for sure it goes.
You want to know the one thing about you guys that I've noticed from afar, right? You guys are the one brand that, you know, obviously we've known each other now for 5-6 years, but, you know, your team is growing. Mm-hmm. First time I met you in person. But you're focusing as much on the internal as you are on the external. Not just internally with the people that you have here at the office, but also your community.
Yeah.
That is literally everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's the reason why you guys are having so much success. It's all about the people. It starts with the first couple people, right? And that's your nucleus. And then the people that start purchasing, right? And then you have that community. You take care of those people, man.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the rest.
It's your backbone.
Yeah.
For sure. It's your backbone for sure. I think
you guys are doing it right.
And we learn from you too. Trust, like Discord and stuff, the way you guys do that, we learn
ass,
from you.
man.
Yeah.
That's a lot of him too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the community, I've said it on a few pods, but like that's one of the biggest things that I focused on, which I learned, ironically learned from you guys, because it was like the takeover team. And I'm like, man, what is this? 'Cause I know so many of them that follow me. And it's just like, when one of them finally explained to me, I'm like, what? Like, there's not a brand that does that. Like, there's literally not. So I'm like, shit, like, that's community. Like, there's people who are like really going to GNCs to set up. I'm like, bro, who like a normal just GNC employee would do it, but you guys focus so much on like your presentation that like, you know, these people are doing it. So I'm like, your community and just the way that it is like dope. So I'm like, damn, let's do that. You know what I mean? And just build it out in a separate way or a different way, and just build it out and build it out, build it out.
You want to like make it personal.
Exactly.
You know? And look, like there's people out there that could say either like a Ghost product, Inaka product, like whatever. They could say, oh, those are commodities.
Yeah.
Right. Energy drinks, pre-workouts, like apparel, hats, shorts, or whatever. That's commodity. No, it's not a fucking commodity.
No.
Right. You don't like eggs, bread. That's commodity. People are not on Instagram posting hashtag eggs with their eggs, right?
Yeah.
But they're posting Inaka. They're
Speak for
posting,
yourself, man. There's
Ghost.
some good bread out
yeah,
there.
big bread guy. Yeah. But like, no, but I was serious, right? Like you can't like we try to go into this industry like anti-commoditize, like what sports nutrition was doing. I think you guys have done the absolute same, because these are like social, shareable, emotional purchases for people, right? And if you want to just double down on that, because that's what makes this stuff fun.
Exactly.
You know, so,
like one of the goals is like the same way that certain clothes makes me feel. I'm like, I want Inaka to make someone feel that way, whether it's in the gym or it's like going out. Like when you put on a pair of Inaka shorts, like you should feel like, damn, like I'm fucking great today. Just because it's like not only because the shorts look good, because it's Inaka shorts.
Yeah.
So when you can get someone to buy into that, it's like, bro, like let's just keep doing it, and you do it with everything.
I think one of I'm really gonna take away what you said today about the if someone is to ask me like what's your advice on starting, because I was gonna ask you guys that next, but I'm gonna give you my answer before you guys.
Before he even asks, he's gonna tell you the answer.
Hopefully you guys don't. If you guys ask me the same question, this is the answer. Focusing on the internal as much as the external is like a solid game plan. Like if you do that even if it's just you have that one buyer at the beginning, you just keep bouncing ideas back with that one buyer, and then you build it up to 3 buyers, and then 4 buyers, and then 10, 100. Being able to focus on the external and the internal is so equally is so important, and I think that's one thing that we're trying to do this year is really focus on the internal. The pop-ups, flying people out. We have a lot of stuff planned this year for our internal, like the community and stuff like that. Even for our employees, our team at the warehouse, just keeping them included and making them feel a part of like a team, a family, as opposed to just being, okay, you're just a worker or you're just a customer.
like, yeah, 100%. I think the way I look at it, the way we look at it, the way Ghost looks at it, right, is that the brand that people see is just as important as the brand people don't see, right? And I don't think enough people appreciate that. You know, you can call it culture, call it community, whatever it is, but it's like your internal, your external brand. It's all Inaka. It's all Ghost, right? And it's all got to be at that level.
That culture is everything.
Yeah.
This brand is so much bigger than Dan and I. You know what I mean? Like, it never was Dan and I, right? But the two of us lying on our condo floor, we kind of had to play every role early on. This brand is so much farther beyond that now. And it's like, you know, if you kind of instill the right culture from day one, like, the best thing it can be is, you know, you have people that can run it and hold it to that standard, right? You can be, you know, the Ghost between every facet of the brand, right? And that's kind of what we've tried to do from day one, like, to take care of the people that help you build this thing.
A lot of people don't know who y'all are. I saw your story the other day. You were in an Uber somewhere, and someone was drinking a Ghost.
Uber driver,
and he had no idea who you were.
Yeah. Although I will say this, the driver did drop me off at the Ghost Vegas warehouse, and there is like a 30-foot Ghost logo. So I wonder if they did some quick math. But like up until that point, because everyone was responding like, "Yo, did you say something?" I'm like, "No."
Yeah,
I'm gonna let them enjoy their beverage. You
see that drink right there?
Yeah, he's like, "Yo, I own it." The guy's like, "Yeah, who gives a fuck, bro? I just like the taste."
But those are the best sales you make.
Yeah.
You know, 100%. The people out there who like are buying Inaka who have no idea who the two of you are, or any of the team is. Honestly, those are the best sales you make, because that is the longevity of the brand. That means it's removed and it's grown. So. Again, like, that's check the egos at the door. Like, let's build something bigger, right? Let's build something that lasts.
We always say, like, the dopest thing is like when we see someone in this gym wearing a Inaka and they have no idea who we are.
It's awkward too, because like you kind of approach them with that like, all right, yeah, it's me, and like they look at you like, yo, what the fuck did you just do? Like, I don't know who the fuck you are, but all right, just got checked a little bit. I got humbled a little bit. There's a lot of kids here that, I don't really social media anymore. Like, I'm not like a fucking. I became a pro kind of like you.
Because you're running a business.
I don't do that.
People don't appreciate that enough. Yeah.
So they see me here, or I see them wearing a Inaka, 20-year-olds, 18-year-olds, and I think they know me, but like, I get embarrassed every single time when I go up to them like, hey, that's a nice belt. And they're like, all right, thanks, man. And I'm like, all right, well, next time I'm not going to say anything to you.
Dude, that is something that you shouldn't embarrass you at all. If anything, you should be proud of your brand. Your brand's bigger than you now.
Yeah,
man. That's
in that moment, it's kind of just like, fuck. That's kind of awkward. But I agree.
Like that,
those sales are the best sales.
Random dude complimented a belt.
Yeah. It's just a badass belt. Needed to let you know that. No, those sales are definitely.
You know how that story ends though, right? Because they're like gonna go home and we get in the car and someone's gonna, like, their boy's gonna get in there and we're like, yo, you know who that was, right? And I'm like, no. And they're gonna tell them, and they're gonna feel embarrassed. So you're good, fam.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
But now we talked about obviously the beginning of Ghost currently, and then so what do we have planned for the year? What do you guys have planned? Obviously, you have big partnerships, so like, if you want to discuss them, we'll just hold off on the episode until everything's fully announced.
What you got, Hughes? What you got, Hughes?
So I think the beginning of this year, I told Dan when we started having conversations about, and to be real, it actually started at the end of last year, because we kind of do this exercise where we map out like what the next year is going to look like, a lot like what you're doing on the whiteboard here, right? And we were doing that exercise, and we kind of were going back and forth like, what's the next? In a lot of ways, as messed up as this sounds, like the initial game plan, like the immediate game plan for Ghost, we did a lot of it, and we didn't know how long that was going to take. We didn't even know this brand was going to work, right? So now you're 6 years in, and the brand's maturing a little bit, and it's like, okay, what's the next chapter of Ghost look like? And that's not something that we had an immediate answer for. There was some stuff still left on the whiteboard, that like pie in the sky stuff that we still obviously want to achieve, right? The overarching mantra of what Ghost is and what we want it to be is a lifelong mission. So that's something that you never fully check off, right? We were like, what's the next couple of years look like for Ghost? And it's something that we had to kind of take back and sit on. You start having conversations with different people, that one thing leads to another. Fast forward about 2 months, so we're in January of this year now. And I think, we were talking about earlier, like, we had a list of maybe 7, 8 opportunities that we thought had the ability to really push this brand forward in a lot of different ways, in very different ways, right? And we were like, our goal this year, and our goal really in the next couple months, is to basically formalize at least 2 or 3 of these partnerships, right? If we do that, we're going to hit the ground running this year, and it'll carry us into the next couple years. Mm-hmm. In addition to all like the product launches and innovation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you fast forward another 30, 45 days, we end up inking all of the partnerships we pitched, which was a weird experience.
All of them.
All of them.
All
You're
of
like,
them.
what's next?
Yeah, and now it's just like, man, we got to find some hours in the day.
Yeah.
You know, make sure we got grab some, you know, add some more firepower to the team probably as well. But yeah, I mean, look, we got a really aggressive, I think, live events calendar we're really excited about. No, we're not talking about fitness expos, right? We got some pop-ups coming with you boys, right? If we can leak that. So
for sure.
yeah, so excited for that. We got some big festivals that we're doing with Ghost Energy, which we're gonna announce like the dates and the places soon. But I'm excited because it's gonna be, you know, like a ghost experience within those festivals. One of the big festivals, actually, the main stage is gonna be Ghost Stage, which is sick.
Yeah.
But it's also gonna be a total of what, like 7, 8, 9 different cities or so. So, you know, bringing Ghost like to a bunch of different places.
15, 20 actual individual dates this year.
Yeah, which is dope.
That's crazy.
So that's going to be a whole like live events arm, which is something we've always wanted to do, right? The online community, amazing, but like I think that just makes the offline that much more special, right? When you get to, especially after that got taken away from all of us the last couple of years. And then probably like the most transformative thing that we just never thought would happen, probably because we never even knew it could even be done or was an option, right? Is we met the guys from FaZe about a year ago. We started talking to one of the main like kind of, you know, athlete gamers agents, right, about a year ago. Got to know him a little bit, was waiting for like contract renewal discussion kind of periods to come up, and you know, kind of checked in at the beginning of this year, see how stuff was going, see if there'd maybe be some interest for later this year. And we just got to know him and got to kind of know what they were all about, what we were kind of looking to do. And he popped kind of like a big question on us. He goes, yo, what do you guys think about working with all of FaZe, not just the one guy? And we're like, what? Like, yeah, we could have the conversation. Let's do it, right? And it's almost like, you know, kind of that AB conversation where we're on a plane the next day. They were on a plane the next day.
We met him in Vegas.
Yeah, CEO, everyone just flew in to just have conversations on like, hey, like, what are you guys all about? What's your vision? What's the Ghost vision? And it's just insane how like similar it was, right? As far as like, you know, they've always viewed themselves, if someone doesn't know who FaZe is, right? Like they're the biggest esports organization in the world, but right, I mean, they're far bigger than that, right? They're like a culture movement, right? They've got music, they've got sports, they, you know, like 500 million views a month across everything. I mean, it's just
Snoop came out in the Super Bowl wearing the FaZe chain.
Yeah,
So.
Snoop's, you know, part of it too. Like, dude, it's just
insane,
crazy,
man.
Yeah. So,
It was
they put,
also
like,
it was also
warehouse.
one of those things too that like you have a conversation, you feel like you know these guys forever. Like we sat down, we had lunch with them, and we were like, "You guys are our boys."
Yeah.
Which you know we knew right away, like we got to work this out.
That's important too.
They're talking about like Web3 for like, you know, half that lunch too, and it was just crazy because like they've been with, you know, one partner for 10 years and were like happy and stuff, but they wanted to progress, they wanted to do more. Right, like, hey, like we're more than gamers. You guys are more than fitness. This is an awesome, you know, measure. We want to talk about collaborating on product and not just like a name or whatever, but like let's collaborate on real product. Let's collaborate on Web3. How are we going to give our customers what they're looking for today while creating the future of what they want? Like it was just like a mind blowing, like really cool combo. And
It's gonna be
look, we
huge.
left that lunch and we're like, yo, Ryan, go home, get your piggy bank. You know, we got like call our CFO. Okay, sit him down. Right, maybe get him a glass of wine. You know, like we got to figure out how we're gonna do this. And it's it's funny. I mean, dude, we are just as excited now as we were day one of just like where this is gonna go. You know, I mean, obviously we had Ghost Gamer launch that, but this is like another level. And again, what I'm so excited about is that like this is gonna get Ghost in front of so many more people. And like, what does that mean for
growth is
the
gonna be
brand?
crazy.
What does that mean for our team? How many more opportunities are we able to give people? And also, like I said this to you guys earlier, but like, what does this mean for our partners? What does this mean for our friends? You know, my Rolodex is your Rolodex, straight up. So I mean, seriously, like, what does this mean for all of us? And they're so excited. They think the same way, right? They're like, man, like we view, you know, again, like life, personal and professional, it's a team sport. You know, 1 + 1 is not, you know, it's 5 or more. With the people in the room, it's probably 10 or more. I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm so excited about, again, like the people involved and where we're going with all of this. So, yeah, that's
fucking huge,
yeah.
man.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's like yeah.
Oh,
Phase, bro. I've been watching Phase since like Modern Warfare 1, when it was like Phase and Optic.
Yeah.
And the way that Phase has grown is like when I was watching them on YouTube montages, YouTube edits, like what the fuck, you know, like where they're at now is so insane. So when you guys saw that, I was like, bro,
You put Ghost in front of all those, each
bro.
one of those influencers' followers. That's catastrophic growth, man.
Yeah.
It's
catastrophic growth.
like that's insane.
That's gonna
man.
be insane. Yeah,
Wow.
that's gonna be congrats on that. Congrats on everything you guys are doing.
Huge congrats.
yeah, no, appreciate
Congrats
it,
to you
boys.
guys as well, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Thanks. We're trying to learn from you guys.
It's
man.
all, bro. It's
Yeah.
all. It's like I said. It's fun. We and him talk about this in the car today. I don't even know how we got on the subject, but just on the topic of learning, right? And we both just kind of agreed. And this is sad. This is pessimistic, but like a lot of people around us, like they just like are content to stop learning. Mm-hmm. And like with us, like everything that we've done, good, bad, like stupid, put money into this, didn't work out, whatever it was, like
Yeah.
we've always learned.
Yep.
Yeah.
Every minute, every moment, learning, right? So like we learn from you guys. We're gonna learn something when we walk out the door right now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
to me, that makes life fun. That makes all of this worth it. But I don't know, man. I'm so excited. Just everything going on, and just
Yeah,
can't wait for our pop-ups this summer. That's gonna be fire.
It's gonna be crazy,
that
man.
is gonna be insane.
Yeah.
I think what you mentioned offline a lot, and I think I'm definitely trying to enjoy the offline things as much as the online things, because like the offline things, one, we had that taken away from us all year 2020, and then two, it does something different for the brand. It just gets people people riled up. It's
Like in real life,
Yeah,
like when
it's
you
a
can really
reality,
see it,
yeah.
it's like a reality.
Yeah.
Of like when we did the event here with like Chris and Dom, like seeing all those people wear Inaka, like I get tagged 1,000 times a day. It's like dope, right? But when you see all those people in real life wearing Inaka, having an Inaka belt, like it's different. It's just
Yeah.
like, oh shit, like this is real. Like this is a real life thing.
It's a different sensation, man.
Yeah.
Why do you think, literally the first, you guys have a bunch of NFTs, right? So you
Yeah.
have a bunch of Web3 projects and stuff. Why do you think one of the first moves when they actually build their community, the first move is to do an event,
Yeah.
right? You get all these people together that have been interacting online, whether it be Discord or whatever, and get them face to face.
Yeah.
In real life, stuff's never going away.
Yeah.
People are starting to in a world today where people are starting to, I guess, think that online is like much more important, which it is important, but it's much more important than real life. If you're able to still attack the in real life stuff, like you're gonna win. It's gonna help you a lot. It's gonna help you a lot because you're gonna create that internal community that fucks with you forever.
Yeah. I think it's easier now, like, just leveraging online in real life. Like, doing a pop-up, like, all summer, and, like, we just grew a huge community in Discord and be like, yo, Miami, we're flying 10 of you guys out. And so then the rest that don't get flown out are just going to go out there because all their friends are going.
Yep.
And then the same thing for Chicago, the same thing for LA. It's like, then it's just like you're bringing your online friends in real life. Like, all those kids are going to be like, it just creates something in the brand that, like, damn, like we met from the Inaka Discord and we met in real life and now we're real friends.
Yeah.
Or like, yo, we met online and we all drink Ghost Energy, or like we all went to this festival and now, we shared a Ghost tequila
Yeah.
Bro,
mixed
like,
drink, and now it's like a thing.
As long as they all sign waivers, we're good.
Yeah, growth, man. Yeah. I mean, dude, like for me, that was why I even got into subs, right? Is that experience of like, booting up before the gym, maybe like trading scoop stuff or whatever it was, like that, like was, when we wanted to like create that type of environment, that type of emotion, like with the brand. Same thing you got, like, man, remember like your first pair of like grails that you got?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, how do you keep creating moments like that for people?
Yeah.
And if you could do that, like, you're winning.
Yeah.
Not just in business, but in life.
Yeah,
like you're winning. So,
Yeah.
Well, you start to get to the point where who cares about the dollars?
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when you actually get to that point, you genuinely, obviously you have a business to run. Right?
Yeah.
Which is why we have Mark.
Yeah.
That's why we have a CFO, because we're the guys that don't like, we value everything else, so that's why we hired a good CFO.
Yeah, but I mean, then you get to a place and then you step back and you're like, holy shit, this is way bigger than we ever thought it was going to be.
Yeah, amen.
Yeah. Cheers to that, boys. Cheers to that.
Heck yeah.
Thanks for having us on, guys.
No,
Yeah.
for sure. Thank y'all for
Yeah, I
coming on.
appreciate
This
you
is by far. I said this last time, but this is the greatest episode of all time. This is the greatest episode.
I don't know, man. Jack Italian's tough to compete with.
Yeah. He's a character.
The goldfish story, my lord,
Yeah.
my lord. That's a good thing I didn't know that and asked me because I might have gone to the pet store. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, next time you
next
see
year.
him, just bring him a goldfish.
Yeah.
I promise you he'll eat it.
Yeah.
There was more story in this one. I think you guys
Yeah.
you guys are our most accomplished like set of individuals that we've interviewed or we've had on the podcast. Everyone else is still kind of like starting and doing their own thing. And they kind of tell the same story of like how they got to the point that they're at right now, which is what you guys did. But you guys have accomplished a lot more than everyone else that we've had on the podcast. So I think for our viewers, it's going to be very refreshing. It was refreshing for me to hear because like obviously in a sense that we look up to you guys. I mean, I remember, like I said, I keep saying, I remember when you guys came down to Houston samples and now I'm seeing y'all with energy
Yeah, we got a
drinks.
lineup of
like that shit's inspirational to me. So for me, it was refreshing. I enjoyed it. And I know our viewers that are looking for like an accomplished story. I know you guys still feel like there's a lot more to do, but from a viewer's perspective, an accomplished story is very refreshing. So,
Yeah.
Well, thanks, bro.
We appreciate that, guys.
Yeah.
We're grateful for the time. Seriously.
Yeah,
sure.
the time, the support, everything. You know, I mean, like I said, if there's one thing people take away from this, it's the relationships, it's the people, it's a team sport. Check the ego and build a fam.
Yep.
You know, and anything's possible when you do that. So, you guys are the fam. So appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
appreciate
bro.
that.
Let's have a fucking electric summer.
Yeah, let's do it.
We're ready.
Let's do it.
Some would say it's gonna be dialed.
Yeah, it's gonna be super dialed. There we go.
Super dialed also.
See, we got Chris to
Let's
say it.
go.
We got him to say it. Dial's the real thing now, boys.
Let's go. It's real.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure you follow Ghost
Bro's about
Lifestyle,
to pee on
follow
himself.
Inaka Power Radio, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bro, I've been needing to be
I'm not gonna lie, so
It always hits me during the podcast.
wherever you guys
Where
want.
do we go, man? We going to do some maxi poo up here, or what do you want to do?
yeah, let's put that.
You want me to go? Yeah. Do you want to date yours too? I'll just. Thick. Oh, so you got the thickness down. I want to you, bro. Yeah, excited for sure we'll be there. Thanks so
All right,
much, bro.
Dan. Great meeting you, man.
Great to meet you. We'll connect now. Bro, great to meet you, bro.
Likewise, man.
Thanks so much, man. Of course.
Man, dude.
Legend. My dude.
We could try and, I don't know what thing.